The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with the amazing Mary Olsen. This young woman is just finishing up being a part of our program. And I'll be honest, one of our mindset coaches, Suzanne, was bragging about her in our back channels and said she wanted to do a podcast, or we wanted her on the podcast. And I haven't got to spend as much time with her as I wanted. So I was literally like, I'm excited as the host to hear her story in a way that I know some of it, but I don't know all of it. So you and I, Cleaning Nation, we can join together in unpacking Mary's story. So just a quick intro. This young lady started Olsen Cleaning, Mary Olsen, by the way, or Mary Faith Olsen. Love Faith as a name, by the way. It's beautiful. Mary Faith Olsen started Olsen Cleaning Assistant May 2022, and we're recording this August 2022. So any of you guys that are brand new, just perk up. And she serves residential clients in Manchester, New Hampshire. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So we're just going to take you on this young lady's journey. And, I know about a third of you out there kind of just in that starting stage. So this will be an exciting opportunity for you guys to dive in on her world. So let's just start. Yeah. Just give us a 60-second background of, you've only been doing this. What made you want to start, kind of your fears and frustrations of kind of doing it on your own for a very short amount of time. And so I'll give one narrative, then I'll let Mary go. Probably less than 20% of our clients, maybe less than 25%, are brand new. And the frustration I always have with new people is they don't know what they don't know. So they've got all this wild hope, like I'll just never give up and I'll work hard. And these are great things. You should always work hard, and never giving up is a huge thing. Unfortunately, the road is littered with the business corpses of people that said they would never give up and worked hard because they know what the hell they're doing. So it's frustrating with them because they don't really know what they don't know. So they don't have enough pain yet to do anything different more times than not. So that puts us as coaches in a situation to either give them false hope, like, oh, it'll be fine. Yeah, your great attitude is plenty enough to be successful, which is not. Or this super negative place of, Mary, you have no idea the beating that you're about to, you have no idea. And then they and that's, no matter what we do, they more often than not, they're like, I'm going to figure it out on my own. And then they just get the crap handed to them. Maybe they come back a year or two later after physically going through the pain and go, okay, I've had enough. Now I need help. And it's heartbreaking to watch people have to go through that. And it's like, well, I guess you do. So Mary is by far the exception. What on God's green earth, right? Because you've only started a couple months ago. You can't have been through that much pain. Why would you reach out for help when you could have just figured it out on your own?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll definitely give a little quick backstory. I mean, I actually probably over a year ago, I had thought of starting a cleaning business. I had just had my third baby, and I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5, just because I didn't want to. I already had 2 older kids. I missed a lot of their life, a lot of the fun stuff, because I was working to live paycheck to paycheck and like not getting anywhere. So I wanted to start one, and I kind of just like started it on my own, and I got nowhere. And it really like knocked my confidence. And then even in just between that year, there was just a lot of stuff in my life that I think led me up to, like you said, when I had called you and got into this group, that whole year of my life, I can tell you I had been humbled many times that year, to realize that I don't know anything. I need to be teachable, and I want to be teachable. And like you said, I had the ambition, I had the drive, I had the dream, but I didn't know what to do. And so I had kind of got on this, and the support with my family kind of gave me the confidence to tell myself that I can do anything. I want to do anything. I just have to work for it. And working for it for me meant doing what I'm told.
So let me just put 2 things in, because you're saying some really important stuff I don't want Cleaning Nation to miss. One, breaks my heart. You're like, oh, I officially started 2 months ago, but I've been getting my head handed to me for a year, and then I finally felt enough pain. So I just want to encourage you. So this doesn't sound like a huge commercial. us or anybody else. I don't care. This isn't a, you got to come to Grow My Cleaning Company. If that's what you do, we have more people come wanting in than we even have room. So please don't hear this as a commercial. It is a commercial for getting help from somebody that has the proven systems and processes and has a track record of showing people how to do it.
Mhm.
Us or anybody else. There's some fine coaches out there. So not going it alone. This is absolutely a commercial for you, and if you want to use us, we can talk. If not, fine. But the ridiculous idea of I'll figure this out on my own. For me, it took 20 years and about $500,000 in my education. I did not go to college, of paying other people that knew it to get me here. And for other people, and I'm guessing half or more of you guys are smarter than I am. Fine. So maybe it only takes 10 years and $250,000 for you. Or you can just find someone that knows, and whether you have to pay them in pizza or hugs or American money or whatever, don't give a piece of your business is the one thing I'd probably avoid. But other than that, whatever they want that's legal and ethical and moral, pay them. Do what they get a freaking mentor. So that's thing one. Thing two is, and you said this is so common, Mary, like, hey, I had a lot of weird things happen in my life. And it's funny how we kind of wait sometimes, when things are better, then I'll get stuff fixed. But that's like going to the fire and go, you give me some heat and I'll put in the wood. And the fire's like, that's not how this works. You got to put in the wood and then you get the heat. There's never going to be a perfect time sustained to start a business or to run a business. So you kind of got to decide. And most people wait until they just get their head handed to them so much, they're beaten and bloody, and they're like, okay, fine, now I'll ask for help. You can do that, or you can just get some help right off the bat and save yourself all this headache. And that's the most heartbreaking thing, is the people that are just starting and don't know what they don't know. So even Mary, I'm like, oh, she was the one unicorn that figured it. Like, oh no, I've gotten beaten up for a year and then I came.
Yeah.
So what, go ahead, anything.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, kind of like I said, when I started, was like, very motivated, like I can do this. But I didn't really put any work into it. And so, obviously if you're not putting work into something, you don't get any results. And so I was kind of like, well, I tried and it didn't go anywhere. And so I'm not made for this. I'm not good at it. This isn't for me. And, so back forward maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I was like, you know what? I for some reason, I just kind of believed in myself a little bit more. I got tired of kind of, like I said, that 9 to 5. And I was like, I'm going to try this again. And I put something on Facebook. I had a girlfriend reach out to me. We were going back and forth. And that's what I said to her. She goes, oh, you do this? You clean? And I've been looking for someone like you forever. And I said, well, I was a little hesitant. I didn't know if I was going to start this again, just because I was scared. And she was like,
It's almost
girl,
like a bad relationship that you're on again, off again. You're like, I know he's bad for me, but I can't stay away. You're like, I don't know if I want to start this thing up again.
with self, I didn't really believe in myself. And it just took, that one conversation with that girl being like, no, when I look at you, I see a strong, independent mom and a woman, you can do anything. And I was like, why don't I tell myself that? And I started telling myself that. And I think, like you said, it could have been you, it could have been anyone else. But it started with telling myself, I can't do anything I put my mind to. I just have to put my mind to it and then do the action behind it. And through doing that, I am blown away just by how my life has changed in the past couple of months.
So let me encourage all of you. It sounds like it was kind of serendipitous for Mary to start, in that she just met a seemingly random friend who spoke some truth and some power into her. And that caused her to reach out and find an intentional community that would be positive, because obviously part of what we do is help you guys build those beliefs that you need. So again, whether it's us or not, you still get to choose who you spend time with, right? And if you're spending time with caustic people, there's 2 kinds in the world that are caustic. One that are family that you're committed to, and others that you're not. So for me, if they're not my family that I've committed to, I'm very particular. And by the way, of family, my parents, my wife, who I choose, my parents I didn't choose, my kids who I don't choose, but my kids I get to raise, so they're not going to be caustic. My wife I choose, so she's not going to be caustic. My parents are her parents. Certainly I'm not going to eliminate them from my life for not having the attitude, but I can still dial up and down the influence I allow them to have. So big thing is, don't just kind of let it luckily happen, or use the excuse, well, my husband, my wife, my kids, my whomever, they're all terrible people. It's like, well, if it's your husband or your wife, we got a little, if I all of a sudden am a psychopath, my wife's probably going to act a little psychopathy. If I'm real positive and powerful, she's probably going to come that way. And she's one of the many people I choose to have in my life. So who you choose in your life is a big deal. And it sounds like Mary kind of discovered that, like I said, almost serendipitously. Like you had one good, maybe you had some bad people around you, had one good thing, and that that was a domino effect. You can do that on purpose. Okay. So now what's happened? Talk to us over the last couple of months. I'm hearing loud and clear the foundation was your belief going from, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm going to put words in your mouth, but feel free to correct me if I completely botch it. You set the record straight. But Mary was going, I've got these two competing beliefs of you're no good, you can't do this, you're too dumb, you've tried it before, you failed, you're always going to fail, you big dumb loser. And that wasn't who Mary was, but that was that was her monkey mind in there trying to scream at her, right? That wasn't Mary, but that was certainly some of the beliefs that she allowed to live. And then she had these other beliefs that were, are you kidding? You're a great lady. You're smart. You'll get the help that you need. You're a bright individual. You can do this. You got this. And it's really which of those voices that you feed is really what's important. And feeding is who you spend time with, because whoever you spend time with is going to kind of resonate with one of those voices. And if you pick the powerful people in your life, that's the voice you're going to have. Complete miss, or is that how you experienced it?
No, yeah, you're 100% spot on.
Okay. And I do want to encourage one quick thing. We're going to talk about what Mary actually did. You're saying so much important stuff. I'm like, I don't want to miss any of it. But there's that point, and this is very common Cleaning Nation. So Mary, maybe you felt like this was just you, but I guarantee there's people out there that feel it's just them. And I'm going to bring it up. So they go, oh my gosh, it's not just me. Mary went through that. And look how successful she is. We have this thing when we're first starting where we're doing everything, right? We're doing the rags, we're cleaning, doing the marketing, the billing, the whatever. If it's to be done, I'm doing it. And the reality is, if we manage our time, and maybe that's only 50 or 60 hours a week, or maybe even 40. So like physically, if we actually manage our time perfectly, we would have time to do other things. But if we're honest with ourselves, we're like, I'm exhausted. And of course, we have family with wife and kids and husband, like other human beings that depend on us. We can't just do this 24/7. And we're human beings who need things like sleep and relaxation and some rest. So at the end of the day, we really don't have any real time. If we do have any time, we're exhausted mentally and emotionally. It's like, okay, now do the creative work of building a business. And we can't. And we beat ourselves up like, oh, it's the end of the day and I should work till midnight. And it's like, you can't. Let's just be reasonable. So we have that. And we're allowed to have the story of, well, if I just got out of this, then everything would change. And then somehow we lose a client or we set some boundaries or whatever. We do have the time and we're like, we come face to face with the fact of, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So we kind of have that, like, almost allow ourselves to stay busy, because in the back of our mind, we have that fear. If I did get some time, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it would just be testing a bunch of crap that might not work. And I'm terrified. So we kind of like quietly allow us to be overwhelmed because we're afraid to be underwhelmed. Like, crap, now what do I do? Now I'm going to have to admit, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, which is much scarier to admit to myself than I'm so busy. I could rock this thing if I just had time. Like that's a story that we're more willing to tell ourselves. Any of that resonate with you, or what's that feel like from your side? Because there's a lot of people out there feeling that right now.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think like excuses, kind of like that monkey mind telling you you're not good enough. You have that monkey mind that can make excuses for not having the time, not having the resources, whatever it may be. And I think that's also was a mindset shift for me, was because, like I said, I'm a single mom. I have 3 kids. I have to provide for those 3 kids. So it was kind of like, well, if I take the risk to bet on myself to do this, it doesn't matter if I succeed or not. I still have a bottom line to meet, which is taking care of my children. So, there was a lot of those excuses for me. Well, like, I have to stay in this lane because they need this and whatever it may be. And it was really, for me, it was kind of getting rid of those excuses and making the time. Like you said, with, people you surround yourself with, you will bring that. So if I'm around positive people, I'm going to feel more positive. I was kind of in the mindset of, I make a lot of excuses why I can't do things. Well, I'm done with any excuses. I will make the time to do what I need to do to have that time to grow my business. And for me, it was, I'm staying up late, getting up early, because that's when kids are sleeping. That's when I have the time. So, I used to like to put my kids to bed, and then I'm like, oh, finally some quiet time for myself. Let me put on the TV. And instead, the past 2 months, it was kids to bed. Let me put on my laptop and let me learn, let me grow, let me figure out how I can be better and do better in this. So it was really getting rid of the excuses and some more self-discipline to put into myself to learn and grow, to keep going and figure out, how can I make my dream possible no matter what?
So 2 things. One, I know there's a lot of spectrum of listeners out there. I can't think of a more vulnerable or difficult situation. I mean, I'm sure there's extremes of people, and we've helped people that have literally had cancer and homeless people. So yeah, I'm guessing 4.5% of you are in a more desperate situation. Desperate's probably too strong of a word, but a more like, I really can't screw this up situation than Mary. But let's be honest, 3 kids as a single mom. I mean, you know, there's a lot, very few of you are going to be able to have more excuses than Mary, right? It's her to go, I got to clean, I got to feed these kids. If it's not me, it's nobody. Like that's just, and I was raised by a single mom, just me. I couldn't imagine if there was 2 brothers and sisters running around needing to be fed. I literally couldn't. I mean, we barely made it with me. So God bless you, Mary. I don't know how you did it, how you're doing it. But so for any of you guys or gals that are making excuses, I don't want to say making excuses, but telling yourself, I can't do it because this guy's not supportive, or I don't have any money, or what. And it's not like Mary's an heiress and had all this, you know, stack of money hanging out. It's just these kids was the only problem. Not that the kids are a problem, obviously they're a blessing, but the only responsibility she had, and everything else was, you know, peaches. So I just want to encourage everybody, whatever your circumstances, you have strengths and opportunities that Mary doesn't have, period. And maybe she's got some things that you don't have. Fine. But we got what we got. And you got to decide, I'm going to do it. Second thing is, I want to make sure you're not beating yourself up. So hopefully you're hearing the energy from Mary is deciding. So as opposed to judging, because we can just beat the crap out of ourselves. You dummy. It's, you know, like, I guess what I want to give you guys do is give you the freedom to be okay with making some decisions that feel not great, like, or feel, when you said, I worked all day, I spent time with my kids, they're finally to bed, I have 2 hours, 3 if I lose some sleep, which I know I really shouldn't, 4 if I really am going to feel like crap tomorrow. I just want to watch TV and have a glass of wine or read a book or take a bath. Please don't beat yourself up for that. That is a human need. It's okay. So what I heard Mary doing is her goal kind of encouraged her to take another thing. You're never going to beat yourself up out of that. You dummy, stop watching TV, you lazy person. Your kids depend on you. How dare you? That is not the energy. Even if you physically, quote unquote, make yourself do it, that's not the energy you're going to need to learn and create, right? So I love that Mary made more of a decision. She's just said, this isn't what I want for my life. And I understand I might have to give up something today and tomorrow and maybe for the next 6 months, maybe in a year. But by God, the year after that's going to be different for me and my kids. I'm never going to do that again. So I just want to encourage you. You can't shame or guilt or should yourself out of behavior you don't want. You can only encourage. And that comes with hanging out with people, the right people that are going to encourage you and let you know you can do it. So please, please, please don't hear what Mary's saying is gut up, quit being weak, get to work, you big dummy. How dare you can try that. That is always going to be temporary. And it's always going to feel gross. Like Mary, what I'm hearing is she just said, I want something different. So it wasn't beating yourself up for quote unquote doing bad things. It was having this good thing that you really were drawn to and focused on that. And you're like, oh, like your kids, you could look at it as I'm giving another bath, I'm changing another diaper, I'm talking and I'm dealing with another temper tantrum. True. Or you could look at it as this is God's gift. I'm so blessed to be able to have these kids. And one, A, you're not gonna be a great parent. B, you're gonna be miserable, right? If you're just like, I have to do this, you dang kids, you're dependent. How can you not be, you know, how woe is me? Even if you're a good mom, you're gonna be a miserable mom. It's hard to be a good mom when you're miserable. But when you go, I'm blessed. I have these 3 little humans that no one else gets to raise, and God gave them to me because I'm the special person. And yeah, there's some poop involved, and there's some screaming. And maybe everything's sticky for a couple of years, and that's not my favorite. But that drawn to is so much more powerful than get away from when it comes to trying to change behavior. Okay, so we've got, I think, a lot of the kind of mental stuff. Talk about what you physically did. How is your business different? What'd you do differently because there's a subset out there, and I would be what I'm. Quit talking about all this mental bull crap and beliefs. Tell me what to do. Dang it. So walk us through, Mary. What were your big shifts in your business?
I think, what were some of my big shifts? I gotta be honest. I think the big shifts were, I don't even know, because when I first came in, I had no clients. I started from nothing, and my shift was like, well, how do I get clients? And I need clients to make money to run a business. And somewhere what I ended up doing was, you know, I got one client. We were very, I kind of found that niche of people that, because I went from like, I need any client, whoever it is, whatever, to no, I need the client that's going to have the same visions as me, value the same things as me. And when I attracted one of those just from like one Facebook ad, then like her friends came to me and they were like her. And we were all, I got to be honest, all my clients right now are women entrepreneurs. They have their own business. They don't have the time to clean their houses because they have kids. And I can relate to that. I can understand that. And I don't really know that I did a whole lot except for just instead of like taking anyone I could find, I just put out what I value and attract, and it's come back to me tenfold. And then through learning how to run the business behind the scenes, you know, with the billing, through the course, through so many things, it's just all flowed together one step at a time. And so it went from, I have no clients, how do I get any clients, to, you know, somebody will message me, and if we don't value the same things, I'm not afraid to say this isn't a good match. Because I want the client that will value the cleaning, that needs the cleaning. And it's, you know, I don't really know how to explain it, except for, I'm just putting out, you know, what I want to do to help and serve other women. And it's just kind of like flowing in a circle, that's been growing. I went from, you know, 0 to nothing to over $2,000 a month. And I'm, like you said, I just started putting in the work these past 2 months, and I'm really excited to keep going. I can only see it getting better. And the best part is that I'm loving it. Like, I'm cleaning right now. I'm working on figuring out, you know, hiring some people. So I'm doing all the cleaning, and I'm at the point where I'm doing all the cleaning and I'm like, oh no, I got to hire people now, because I want to get back to, I like, the fun part is, I like when a client messages me and we're talking and they're talking about their struggle of not having enough time, not having enough this. I can relate to that. I can understand that. And we talk about it. And like, that's fun for me. I love the connection I think I'm making with other people. Is just growing my company. You know, I don't
So
know.
you said like 4 things. And it's so funny, Mary, just
I know.
dropping bombs. No, they're all good,
but
but
I'm saying,
well, but you're minimizing it. So I want to, for your own self, because I think other people are like, wow, that's really good. So let me tell you what you're doing right, and everyone else what you're doing right, so they cannot just hear like, oh, it's no big deal. And you know, I'll be honest, going from 0 to $2,000 in 2 months, that's not the biggest results we've ever had, but that's a solid. Let me tell you what the key is, because there's a difference between, there's a lot of different $2,000 a month, right? So the biggest thing I think you're underselling for yourself, Mary, is I didn't really do anything. I just stopped taking clients I don't want and only took perfect clients. That is a huge difference. If you had $2,000 of people who are a pain in the butt, they didn't want to pay, they were watching you constantly, and you all had this, I don't want to say adversarial relationship, but just every time you see them on your schedule or on an email or in your text, and you shouldn't be seeing texts from your clients, but whatever, you're like, oh, I got to deal with Mary. That's a bad sign, right? Like, I was really looking forward to, I'm enjoying spending time with Mary today because I really connect with her, right? And it's not because she gave our company money and I'm like, all right, paycheck. I'm like, I enjoy Mary as a human being, right? So that's a big deal. And it is, you're making it like it's easy. Oh, I just stopped taking clients that weren't a good fit and said no to money being waved in my face. No big deal. That's a big deal. It takes people years to learn. Some people don't learn that. So for everyone out there listening, I want you to hear, I didn't just go from 0 to $2,000 a month in revenue. I went from 0 to $2,000 a month in revenue of clients that I connect with and I want to be with and I enjoy and that share my values and appreciate the work that I'm doing. And I know that you did it profitably. So you can do that without having to, you can clean or not clean. If you clean, you'll make whatever the profit is for your company plus 15 bucks an hour, whatever you're going to pay a cleaner. When you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. You can. So that's the first thing is there's a big difference between $2,000 a month of people you don't enjoy, paying a price that isn't worth it after you do the work. So you have to be their bank. You've got all 3 of those nailed. I know, because I've seen your numbers. These are people that you enjoy. Well, the people you enjoy, I'm going to take your word for, because I haven't met them. But if you say you like them, I'm just going to assume you like them and they like you. I know you're doing it at a profitable price and I know you're getting paid in advance. And again, we've got a solid foundation. So it's funny when you just go from a flat ground to a piece of concrete laid that's flat. You're like, that doesn't look like anything happened. But a lot happened. And now you can start framing and it goes up quick. But if you start trying to frame without that foundation, the whole thing topples. So the fact that all of your clients going forward are going to be perfect matches who pay in advance and you pay the right amount, and you just have that belief, that's big. A lot of people, you could grow to 20, 30, 40,000, not have those, and then have to start all over again, right? Like I've got $20,000 of clients, 4,000 are good and 16,000 are make me miserable. And they take up all my time and energy and I don't make any money. And you're just starting. So that's the first thing, is knowing who your client is and being able to say no to someone waving money. That sounds little to you. It's not little. I coach, and that's, people don't do that. Second, the the fact that you are going in, not going, especially as a single mom who needs money and blah, 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 going, yeah, I don't want to clean. I understand in my heart down to my bones that I don't mind. And it's fine. If you Clean Nation out there, if you're cleaning for, I'd like to be less than a month or two, but if it's 2 or 3 months, that's fine. And Mary seems like she's like, yeah, give me another month or two. I'll double again, get 4, 5, 6,000. Then I'll start hiring. Like, it's fine. She's a single mom. She's like, it's okay. If it takes you 6 months, not ideal, but that's fine. 3 years in, you're still cleaning. We got a problem. 2 years in, you're 1 year. It's got to be less than a year. So the fact that you get, and we don't have to sell you on, so to speak, you're not making any money when you're cleaning, and you don't have all this head trash of, well, I like cleaning, my clients only want me, and employees are going to lie, cheat, and steal. All this garbage is just going to kill you when you're like, I'm doing this, but anyone can do it. And I'm excited to hire so I can go work on my business. I know that's ultimately it's going to make more money. That is an asset that very few cleaners have. So as long as you've got that mindset and you know how to get clients, so you just set yourself up right so everything makes sense, and it's awesome. And the final thing that is my favorite is you're like, I love it again, right? Like, it sounds like every time you've tried this before, you've quit, not because you're making so much money and having so much fun, but you're like, I can't, this is freaking miserable. It's just not worth it. I would just rather be with my kids for this kind of low crap pay. And I'm miserable. And now you're like, I love it. I'm having fun. I'm an entrepreneur. So I see those 3 big fat strengths. And I just want to encourage you, Mary, if you get tempted to be like, well, there's other people doing more. And that's the other thing that's tough about new people coming in the program. They go from 0 to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And that's really good for new people. Gosh, people will spend years doing that, and they'll see someone else at $1 million going to 2 million. They're like, that's not me. It's like, I promise you, when they started, it took them longer to get to 2-3 grand than it took you to get, you know what I'm saying? So we look at kind of where we're not at, but we don't go, well, yeah, they've been doing it for 5 years, or they put all this money in, or blah, 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 blah. So you've got a lot of assets going for you. I just want to encourage you to remember. And I love your attitude. You're like, yeah, it took me a couple months to get to 2, and I'll bet you another 2 months, you'll be at 5 or 6, and another 2 months, you'll be at 10. And then you're out of cleaning. And again, even if it takes 7 months for you to pay all your bills without doing any cleaning, and just have to work on your business for 5 or 10 hours a week, or 0 to 10 hours a week, but all your bills are paid, even if it took a year, God forbid, that's a gift for your kids. They're going to remember till they die. Like, this generational kind of stuff there. All right. Enough of me encouraging. We are way over on time. I'm going to let you finish this thing any way you see fit, Mary. What final message or value can you bring to Cleaning Nation, or would you like to share?
I guess I would just like to share that, if you put in the work, you believe in yourself, there's no limit on what you can achieve, no matter what.
I'm going to add that with systems. You need the right system. So all the faith in the world with bad doing is going to kill you. Doing the right thing without the right beliefs will kill you. So it's not like, well, which is more important? Which is more important, the gas or the engine? Well, if you don't have both, they're both worthless. Like, gasoline ain't gonna do you good without an engine can do you. So absolutely agree. All right, Cleaning Nation. I love that. We don't usually talk a lot about people just starting, and that's a large part of our audience. So Cleaning Nation, glad, hopefully that was helpful. And by the way, if you're not just starting, the concepts that Mary's sharing about who you spend time with and how you believe and following systems, they work at 200,000 a month just as well as they do at 2,000 a month. So they're actually, the more money you put, the more pressure, the more important those things become, right? When you're just starting, it's different things. So if you're like, that was helpful, I'd like more, growmycleaningcompany.com. We've got over 800 totally free podcasts. We've written 2 books. There's a 15,000 member podcast, Facebook group, all the tools and resources you need for free. growmycleaningcompany.com. Check it out now. See you there. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share with a friend, share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. That's 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.